Pastor George Borghardt, and this is another Higher Things video short. The parable of the workers in the field. That's the subject of today's Higher Things video short. You can't get any more gospel-y of a parable than the parable of the workers in the field. You see, the kingdom of God is like a guy who goes out and hires laborers for his vineyard. And he goes to the vineyard, the laborers, and he says to them, "Come work in my vineyard. I will give you a denarius," which is a day's worth of pay, "for working in my vineyard." And so they go. And then about the third hour, 9 in the morning, the sixth hour, noon, and the ninth hour, 3 o'clock, he goes out and gets more workers. "Why don't you come work in my vineyard? I'll pay you what's right." Then, at the 11th hour, with just an hour before quitting time, he goes out again. And he hires more workers. And he says to him, "What are you doing standing around? Come, work in my vineyard. I'll give to you what is right." He doesn't actually say anything to them. He just says, "Go work in my vineyard." And then when it comes time for pay time, when it comes time for quitting time, the guys who worked the 11th hour receive a denarius. And the guys who worked from the very beginning of the day, all their heat and all that, expected more. Because, of course, if the Johnny-come-lately 11th hour folks get a denarius, a day's worth of pay for an hour's worth of work, we should get more. After all, we bore the work and the heat of the day. Now, what's this parable about? Well, this parable is about the first being last and the last being first. It's about Jesus giving the kingdom away. It's about our false understanding of the gospel and his true understanding of how the kingdom of God works. You see, the kingdom of God isn't earned or deserved, it's given. I will give you what is right. And later on, when he's talking to the folks of the 11th, of the early morning shift who were upset because they worked the whole day and didn't get more than what they agreed to, he says, "Didn't you agree for a day's work of work, for a day's work of pay? I choose to give the last as I choose to give to you." You see, gift, given, gospel, all together. It's not about earned or deserved, it's about given. And that's the way the kingdom of God is. The kingdom of God is neither earned nor deserved, it is given by God to you in his gifts. Earned between the 6th and the 9th hour on the cross by Jesus, and he delivers it to you in his gifts. So it was never about earning. And this parable isn't only about, if you believe in the later parts of your life, you're just as good with God as you are if you worked your whole life. This is about Jews who made a deal with God, a covenant, that they would work, they believed, work and earn their salvation. And the God who gives salvation away freely in the death of his son. This is about 11th hour Gentiles like you and me who receive salvation, not because they've worked, but because of Christ's work for us. This is about God who shows mercy and is the opposite of the way we think. We think you should get what you deserve. Instead, God gives mercy and forgiveness and love and heaven to people the likes of you and me. The first are last, and the last first. That's salvation for you and me in the suffering and death of Christ, received as a gift given by God alone. I'm Pastor George Borghardt, and this has been another Higher Things video short.